Welcome to Vermonters in Business, where we highlight some of the very best business leaders in our state and the amazing things they're doing in their communities. People of Vermont, welcome to Vermonters in Business, where our mission is to highlight the businesses and business leaders in our state that are doing outstanding work in both of their communities and in their careers. I am your co-host, Drew Kinney. I am a seventh-generation Vermonter, a business owner in the state, and I'm very excited about today's show. But first, please join me in welcoming my co-host, Travis Spencer. He is a serial entrepreneur, a local business enthusiast, and around here we know him as a world-class insurance agent. Travis, how are we doing today? What do you got for me?
Doing great. I got a great hot take today. As you know, I always like to kind of gear them towards our guests. And today we have a wonderful guest who's going to talk about finance and financial planning. And I was thinking the other night, the evolution of the get-rich-quick schemes. I don't know if you remember back in the day, the late-night commercials where if you buy ads in all these newspapers around the world. I remember the guy with the slick-back hair. Yeah. I still don't know what those little ads were going to get you. But you went from that to vending machines. And remember when the Red Box came out, everyone's like, oh, you got to get a Red Box. And no one has a DVD player anymore. Everyone's streaming. Right. NFTs, you think of all these things. But the one thing that stood the test of time is just, slowly investing your money and compounding and letting it go or buying real estate. It's just the tried and true things always are around. It's the quick hit things. So stop chasing those quick hitters.
I mean, I don't know, buddy. I saw a clip last night and they were talking about a guy who got offered like $13 million in Bitcoin like in 2015, and he didn't take it because he didn't want to deal with Bitcoin. Yeah. But had he accepted it, it'd been worth like $3 billion right now.
That's true. I know.
But that didn't work out so great for Tom Brady. So.
No, it didn't.
All right. Well, joining us today is Alison Davis with Quantum Leap Capital. Alison, you're originally from Southern New Hampshire. How did you end up in Vermont?
That's a great question. Leaving sunny Southern New Hampshire was a decision I made. I met my partner at Keene State College in New Hampshire, and Burlington, Vermont was the only place we could agree to move on.
All right. Well, that really simplifies it then,
There's a couple decisions.
Do they really refer to it as sunny Southern New Hampshire, or is that a you thing?
No, it's much warmer.
All right.
In Southern New Hampshire than it is here.
True. Fair enough. That's awesome. And then you guys landed in South Burlington. How long have you been there?
I've been in South Burlington for several years. We lived in Burlington before that.
All right, very good. So give us the quick origin story of Quantum Leap Capital, and then we're going to jump into the Vermonter hot seat.
Okay. So my business partner, Brendan Walsh, was a registered rep, started with American Express, which later became Ameriprise Financial during the global financial crisis, started reading some things that made him come to realize as a registered rep he was serving the broker-dealer and not his clients. So he quantum leaped, and luckily some clients stuck with him, and formed an independent firm where we have a different pricing structure, and with that we charge a flat monthly fee for what we define as comprehensive financial planning. That means a lot of things to different people, versus the traditional model of assets under management or wrap fees and things.
Cool. And what year was this?
Quantum Leap Capital has been around for 13 years now.
13, that's awesome. Good for you guys. Cool. All right, so the first thing we do with every guest, Alison, is we jump into the Vermonter hot seat questions. That gives everybody just a little feel for who you are as a Vermonter now. And even though you're originally from Southern New Hampshire, I think you qualify now. So, Alison, are you ready for the hot seat?
I'm ready.
All right, pancakes or waffles? What are you having with your Vermont maple syrup?
Pancakes.
All right, I like it. And a perfect day for you, is it a winter day at the mountain or a summer day at the lake?
Winter day at the mountain.
Winter day at the mountain. Ski or snowboard?
Ski.
Ski? All right. How long have you skied for?
Since I was 7.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do have a snowboard now, though.
Oh, do you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You ventured into it.
Yes.
Where do you guys usually go?
Bolton.
Bolton? Yeah, that's usually where I go to as well. Nice and easy. You get there, and it's pretty casual. So works well. All right. And then it is your birthday dinner. You can go to any restaurant in the state. Where are you headed?
Ooh, in Vermont?
Yep.
This is tough coming from Southern New Hampshire because I would pick a Seacoast restaurant there. Honey Road.
Honey Road's a good pick.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, good spot. And it's a hot summer day. What is your creamy order?
Ooh, traditional vanilla and chocolate twist.
Twist.
The second
Two
twist
for
of the
two
day.
on the twist, Travis. Yep.
Sprinkles? No sprinkles.
No sprinkles.
All right. Classic traditionalist. I love it. All right. Well, that's the hot seat questions. You survived. So, yeah, it only gets easier from here. All right. Next up, Travis, let's dive into some of the great things that make Quantum Leap Capital cool.
Yeah, so you kind of touched on it earlier with Drew's question, but just give us a little broader overview of who Quantum Leap is, what you guys do, and you alluded to how you're a little different, but what's the day-to-day of Quantum Leap?
Yeah, so one of our clients described her previous advisor as a really nice guy with a shiny office that overlooks the lake, and he only calls her on her birthday. So we send people birthday cards, but we like to meet with our clients on a quarterly basis. We find if much more time goes by, they've bought in a boat, sold a business, done something where they could have used some extra eyes on the transaction. And with that, tax planning is the centerpiece of the work we do. So the last quarter of the year tends to be focused on tax planning, which a lot of people say, well, I have an accountant. And we say, well, when do you see them? And they see them in March when they have all their 1099s and W-2s. But really, tax planning has to happen before December 31st to be effective.
Right.
So we meet with clients on a quarterly basis, talk about their investments within a brokerage account, things they might want to do outside of a brokerage account, and just help them plan to make sure there's no surprises coming.
And you talked about being different, and we've known each other for a while, and I used to work in finance, and I love what you guys do because it is different. You charge a fee, and with that, you're really giving broader advice. You're not saying, where if you're a broker, you're like, oh, everything needs to be in your brokerage account because that's the only way I make money. So you're looking at it's an overused term, but a holistic approach, if you will, to all of their finances.
Yeah. The people that we know who've gotten wealthy have bought in stock and held it forever, or invested in real estate.
Sure.
And those are, great strategies that people need some emotional support with keeping the track.
Right.
But by being in Vermont, a lot of small businesses in this environment, so small businesses and tend to be the people that we talk
Work
to
with.
and
And you're pro real estate. I mean, you work with a lot of clients and help them navigate purchasing rental properties or commercial spaces or things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to invest in real estate. Some people can't stomach having a tangible physical rental space that they might drive by every day,
Right.
or could catch fire.
Right.
That's your world. So there's different levels of the garden variety REIT and just helping people navigate what type of real estate investing is the best fit for them.
And you work more with clients in looking at the total, not necessarily like, oh, here's your portfolio, here's the stocks and bonds you should buy, but thinking again of the total, economy and what that looks like, not just the stock market, but other things that people should be thinking about.
Yeah, we've been sort of compelled to put all of our money into the stock market, which we have no control over, where real estate, closely held business, we can run a little faster, work a little harder when times are lean. And those things can provide more tax efficient income and growth.
And you work closely, you're doing it in-house with accounting work, but you work closely with the CPAs, with insurance agents. You're really trying to connect your clients with other professionals and have your hands in there to guide them.
Yeah, it's nice to partner with, professionals who work in what our clients need, because then we can have the conversation and make sure that they're keeping their insurance agents abreast of changes or talking to their CPA before they buy or sell a business or do something. We like to help make sure their financial plan is all set versus just sending them out to,
Right.
go talk to the cartoon character that says they can save them money on their home and auto insurance.
One of the big words that's out there now, and you can talk about it a little bit, is fiduciary. And I think people hear that word, they don't necessarily understand what it means, or they like to bring it up and not understand what it means. Can you elaborate on what a fiduciary is? Are you guys fiduciaries, and how does that work?
Yes, so Quantum Leap Capital is a fiduciary. A fiduciary is professionals who they're required to put their clients' needs first. We want to do that, without thinking of that term fiduciary. It's interesting, the Department of Labor has really struggled with the definition of fiduciary in regard to registered representatives and the best interest clause, which they've sort of assigned as an alternative for a broker-dealer. We think everyone should work with a fiduciary.
And that's basically having the client's best interests above yours, not selling commission-based products, things along those lines.
Yeah, and that's part of the flat fee model that we charge, is to ensure that our clients, that the advice we give them is objective and portable. It's not dependent on, because we want to sell them this commissionable product.
Right.
We want them to understand what they're putting money into and why.
And one of the things you and I have talked about a lot over the years is understanding who you're working with, for one, but the other term that gets used a lot is advisor. I'm a financial advisor. And we know there's a lot of people out there who aren't even licensed in certain things, but can label themselves as a financial advisor or financial planner. What do you see in the marketplace when it comes to people like that and organizations?
It's the industry. It's not the people. The industry has been, arguably flawed from the beginning, with that people need to go out and sell commissionable products to, have their own lifestyle. And so there are advisors that we see that are labeled financial advisor but can't necessarily give securities advice. So can't say, you should buy this individual stock or this index fund or XYZ. Mm-hmm. And that can limit the scope and service that someone might get from that advisor.
Yep. And as well as other products, as well as giving financial advice, do you guys do life insurance, disability insurance, things along those lines?
Yeah, we are licensed in life insurance, annuities, all the things you can Google out there and find really ugly things on. And so with that, we want to educate people on how these products work. Some things can be very efficient for a person's financial picture, and they should know about it, but not necessarily just put money into it because they heard a guy in front of them at the grocery store talking about something.
Yeah. The classic, the guy makes his 401k selections based on the guy he works next to on the assembly line, as opposed to
classic.
Reaching out to an expert and getting that advice.
So when somebody reaches out to Quantum Leap, walk us through that process of, like, if they're like, hey, I want to come work with you guys, what's the kind of the high level, how does that kind of play out and work?
Yeah, so part of our process in working with people is pretty intensive for them. We ask for a lot of data because we want to look at all these different pieces, not just, what they've got in this brokerage account. So when people reach out to us, we want to make sure that, every advisor offers a complimentary consultation. Right. That's not standard in any industry. Yeah. So we offer a complimentary
free
consultation.
Insurance quotes.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly.
Everybody loves free. So we want to make sure that if for some reason it's not a good fit to engage us on an ongoing basis, that we can still offer, some advice, some things. Do this, and this, call us in a year and let's check in. So we ask for things like tax returns, mortgage and loan statements, definitely, brokerage, investment, 401k statements, just so we can help people understand, what they put money into. Target date funds are a big thing in retirement accounts now, and we're not big fans of those. So just telling people why.
Cool. And I mean, obviously you don't work with everyone. I mean, you have an ideal client. So someone who's just starting out investing isn't someone you really are going to want to talk to. You're looking more for, what is your ideal client?
Yeah. So, I mean, arguably when people are first starting out, they're served better to know what they're doing out of the gate. But if they're just starting out, they probably shouldn't be paying somebody on a monthly basis to give them advice.
Yeah.
So we do, we offer free advice and tell people, this is what we would do if we were you. Ideally, the people, so I mentioned small business owners before and real estate investors, and those are great fits for us because of the tax planning work that we do. We can help them, avoid buying a vehicle at the end of the year to reduce their tax bill when they really don't need another work vehicle, or understanding, bonus depreciation has been a big thing, and people don't understand when depreciation gets clawed back, things like that. So people who, want to plan long-term are good fits for us, and who, are a little further down the path than just starting out.
So people who are probably, the bulk of your clients, I'm assuming, are more closer to the retirement age than the accumulation age, if you will. I mean, they're pretty much have things and now are wondering what they're going to do in that second half of their life.
Yeah, naturally people start to eye retirement in their 50s. So we have a lot of people who reach out in their 50s looking for help on how to, meet some retirement objective. Another good fit for us are folks who are compensated with equity, whether it be restricted stock units, vesting in the company that they work for's stock, because that's usually not something people know how to navigate really well. And
the tax planning piece, as you mentioned, is year-round. I mean, one of my biggest gripes, I'll offend some accountants right now, but we talked about this before. I always hated the, spend $50,000 to save $5,000 on your taxes. You're just kind of like, but to your point, you kind of review all that with people and say, hey, look, there's other ways to navigate taxes than that.
Yeah, as by nature of being human, we all look at like the calendar year and saving that $500 this tax year without thinking about taxes that are coming 10, 15, 20 years down the road that are going to be a bigger hurdle to jump over. And
from a geographic standpoint, you guys have clients all over, not just in Vermont.
We do have clients all over. The majority of our clients are here in Vermont, but naturally some have moved to states that are more state income tax friendly as they retired, and then referred us to people they meet. So we serve many different states. And so you can conduct business pretty much across the U.S. Yeah. Virtual meetings work great for that, to sit and talk to people face to face. And did that change a lot with COVID? I mean, do you have, I know in our business anyway, at least fewer people are coming into the office. Like, what have you seen post-COVID in your world? Yeah, a lot of people really prefer the efficiencies of a virtual meeting, which, works for us. Some people do like to come into the office. New prospects to us tend to want to come in, which is understandable. You want to meet someone face to face before. And how big is Quantum Leap? How much staff do you guys have? We have 4.5 employees right now. Right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Is that including you and Brendan, or separate from? No, that's including Brendan and I. Okay. Nice. Yeah. All right. Have any questions? Yeah. What do you guys have coming next down the line? What's next for Quantum Leap? So because accountants are graying and retiring, and tax planning's something we talk to our clients about, many of our clients have started asking, when are we going to prepare their tax returns for them? So we're adding that as a service for clients, not as a tax firm. Yep. Yeah. That's nice. Very cool. And then, so 13 years at it, what, if you kind of look back at the path that you guys have gone, is there anything that you would do differently? Or now that you've kind of have, hindsight being 20/20, anything that, people can learn from? You work with a lot of businesses, so it's good to help out. Yeah, I think the only thing that comes top to mind is, as a small business that's growing, you tend to look for systems that can help you do things faster and better. And we've taken sort of a shotgun approach to finding those systems, and you can really get yourself tripped up over learning
that can happen.
Several things at once.
Yeah, or shiny object syndrome gets the best of everybody.
What have been some of those growing pain challenges? I mean, you mentioned having those systems, but like we have challenges obviously in our business, and like what do you guys see as some of the biggest hurdles for you?
Yeah, finding a tax software has been the more recent challenge.
Yeah.
There are other, so eMoney is an account aggregator that is the only type of aggregator in the market. It has no competitors, surprisingly. And we've tried to break away from using that because it's a glorified file sharing.
Sure.
So, but people like to see all of their money in one spot.
Right.
So
that's been a challenge.
Challenging. For security reasons, I'm not sure everyone should have all of their money in one spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from a marketing standpoint, is a lot of your clients referral based? I mean, do you get people that just are calling on the phone or emailing in? Like, how do you usually get most of your new business?
90% of our clients come from referrals from current or past clients. And the other 10%, I'd say, are Googling, and they're Googling tax planning.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's the tax that's getting them in the door, not necessarily the investment piece.
Yeah. We have clients who say, I expect you to beat the S&P 500, and that's not what type of firm we are.
Yeah, you're planning more from the tax standpoint as opposed to the investment piece.
Yeah.
Anything that we missed that you want to add or bring up, or hot button topics?
No, I mean, taxes are a big conversation I think a lot of people are having, which is why people find us to talk about tax planning. There's a lot of changes that have been happening in regard to like inherited IRA, RMDs, and the new out in 10 rule, and then the scheduled sunsetting of the tax provisions that Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 provided. So there's just a lot of more tax change coming that we hope people are prepared for. And
that's the thing, you bring that up, and I read a lot of financial news and stuff, but I do think a lot of people are just not prepared. I'm sure you talk to clients all the time about when to take Social Security, for instance.
Yes.
And so many people they don't know, and they're not prepared, and they're not reaching that guidance, and they're like, oh, I'm 62, I'm going to retire. And it's like, well, wait, if you wait till 67 or 70, and so it's really good. To your point, you're getting the people in like the 50s who are starting to think about it. It makes sense for people to have those conversations years before they retire, to talk about Medicare and all these other things.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of people don't know that their Medicare premiums are income sensitive, and that surprises people. And then just naturally the tax changes that happen for the people who are doing their own taxes with TurboTax, then, sweeping tax legislation comes through, and they're surprised at their tax bill, and they get that under control, and then Congress changes taxes again.
Yep.
So they're not planning.
They're chasing their tail.
They're going year to year. They're not forward planning like you talked about.
Yeah.
Anything else you have?
No, I think we covered it.
All right.
Allison, where can people find you?
QuantumLeapCapital.com.
All right, very good.
Not the TV show, though.
Yep. Well, this has been another episode of Vermonters in Business. As always, if you know anybody that should be on our show, we would love to hear from them. Just send a name our way. We'll reach out and see if we can get them booked. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alison.
Thank you both.
Until next time.